And
I've already done a bit of promo around the press centre for people to watch as well.
yes, we're alive. Hello, everyone. It is happening. We waited a whole year for this, basically, or almost a whole year. But tonight it is happening. It's semi-final one night. Tonight we'll know the 10 countries that will qualify from semi-final 1 to the grand finale on Saturday. And we're here in the press center. I think there's a lot of energy and excitement right now. So we just figured, I know you all want to watch the show. Hello, everyone. It is happening. We have an echo here now, right now. Thanks to Zach. For this, basically, almost okay. So, you probably just muted, not paused it. That's fine. Anyway, so we're here, and we just want to give you a quick vibe from the press center to see what's going on here. You can see what we're doing, and just give you our thoughts and just what's going on here right now, because as you can imagine, it is super full. You know, by now to my left is Zach, Dr. Zach from America. And to our very left is Sean, who's going to be on camera as well in just a minute to chat with us. So the three of us will just give you a quick overview of what's happening and answer your questions if you have any. And then we'll let you go about 15 minutes before the show starts, so you can watch it. And then we're back. We're going to have a post-show. So once we have the results and the 10 qualifiers, we'll be back here for a few minutes after the show. And because the 10 qualifiers will then come in here and have a press conference where they pick, first or second half and that kind of stuff. And as you can imagine, there will be a whole lot of commotion happening here. There are already a lot of fans behind us. There are the Polish fans getting ready. I saw the Czech Republic walking past us. There are Moldovan flags on the side somewhere. So there are fans and delegations everywhere. So this is great here. Any thoughts before I keep just rambling?
Yeah, the press center is very interesting because it's a mix of not only people who are accredited as press, but also people who are big, huge fans themselves. Sometimes you wonder if the press accreditation is a way for the big fans to be able to interact and meet the artists. And I'm not going to say that with a big head because, I mean, in 2013, if you go back to the old videos, you'll see me geeking out about Parsha Parfini and Aliona Moon. I mean, it's pretty obvious there if you want to go get a throwback with some of the old videos. But I think there's a lot of excitement. It feels like it was just yesterday that we were watching the 2016 show and seeing Jamala throw the upset. But
that was so awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, not awesome like
that,
nothing against Dami, but just the fact that it was so close is what I meant. Yep. That is really exciting. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about, I should bring up the list so we're not going to miss anybody. We're going to talk about, we posted on escunited.com who we think will qualify, so our predictions. And later on, we're just going to talk about who we think may be surprise non-qualifiers or possibly surprise qualifiers. So let's take a look. So any thoughts on you, just in general right now before I go for the list?
Do you know what I was just thinking today, the last couple of hours that have been building up, I can't remember this amount of people in the press centre from the first semi-final in Stockholm or in Vienna.
No, it
feels like there's a lot more hype this year in the press centre, especially than before.
Yeah, play with the laptop so we can show them.
Huh? Yeah, show them around real quick, if you can.
Yeah. So this is my laptop, so you can kind of see, oops, well, there goes the battery, but, let's see, how does this work?
Do you want me to take it round, or...?
Yeah, there we go. You can kind of see it's very busy, a lot of people here. Sorry, you're all going to see my forehead for a while, but a lot of people there. There's Fernando.
Hi.
But a lot of people here. This is very packed, and you can't see on the other side, there's actually a fan section in which a lot of people who are accredited as fans are also hanging out and enjoying the festivities.
The fan section's actually getting busier at the minute as well.
Yes. So there are actually a lot of press people sitting there as well.
Yeah. So Hades, I know there's a question for you about have the individuals from the Big Five and the host country performed. Last night at the jury rehearsals, there were clips or performances done by UK, Italy, and Spain. So you'll see clips of that as well tonight, but you can actually go to Eurovision.tv and see the whole performance as well. And I'm not sure if those are available now or if they will be available by the time they actually show it
I
in the
think
show.
they mentioned, the dress rehearsal earlier. I think it said on there full performance.
It said full performance available, but I'm not sure if they're on there like this very moment or once the show starts.
Maybe.
Yeah, so maybe in a few minutes. But they will be online on Eurovision.tv if you want to watch the whole performances of Spain, Italy, and the United Kingdom. So you don't have to wait until Saturday to watch them.
Luxembourg qualify?
Oh, absolutely. They qualify every year.
Luxembourg's one of the favourites this year.
They have a flawless record. They never missed. They never failed to qualify. They never failed to qualify. No. So that's pretty impressive.
So I feel like it'd be a real shock if they did this year.
All right, let's talk this through here real quick. We're going to go through the list real quick. We're not going to spend too much time on each country, and just talk it through and see, any surprise. Like, do you think there's any chance they qualify or cannot qualify, and talk it through. And we'll try to pay attention to the chat as well. Say my name, please.
Yeah.
Say my
Sam
name. All right, let's start with Sweden. Anyone thinking that they're not going to qualify? Anyone daring to wants to dare a prediction where they don't qualify?
No chance.
No, Sweden is through, right? I think we all believe that.
Sweden's a good opener for this semi-final.
It's a good opener.
It's catchy. It's okay. It's not one of my favourites, but it's a good show.
Yeah.
It's catchy. It'll get people going. It's certainly a big crowd pleaser when you read it.
It's just a little bit the lights.
Yeah, a bit of light. But yeah, I can't see them failing. Although, and don't take this the wrong way if you're Swedish. I just think if Sweden didn't qualify, that would be huge.
That would be
a really interesting situation to see where they go from here.
I have a feeling then they would have an overhaul with their voting system in Melodifestivalen, because it was a little bit more on the controversial side this year. Not like super controversial, but certainly not a big thing. Anyway, Georgia. Anybody thinks that qualify, not qualify, any chance? Let's start with Zach.
I like her as a performer, but I think there's so many strong performers this year that second in the running is usually the death spot. Now, Poland last year.
Not in the semifinals.
In the semifinals.
They have actually a pretty good track record.
Yeah. Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. We're dealing with an issue where we have 3 ballads back to back to back: Georgia, Australia, Albania, and I really think it's going to be a battle between the 3 of them to see which one of the 3 are going to stand out, and that one who stands out is going to be the sole qualifier of them.
Yes,
that's my prediction.
I agree. So I'm not saying Georgia will qualify. On my list, I have them as a non-qualifier, but as I said, if the juries will go for that one and the televoters over like Australia, Albania, or Belgium with the vocals right now, it has still a shot. So I'm not counting it out completely, but the odds, I would say, are a little lower. How about you?
What, with Georgia?
Yeah. Any chance?
She's a good performer. She's a very, very good performer, one of the best this year. Unfortunately, there's a lot of very big vocals this year, so you need more than that to stand out. And unfortunately, if anyone here is British, and they're British, that sounded really bad. If anyone here is British, there was a game show called Crystal Maze, and the theme tune sounds exactly like their song, and I still can't get over it.
Oh, well, so maybe that's a help. Maybe
so. It just sounds like a
maybe
really
you get some points from the UK
90s kind of thing, but I don't want to obviously say yes or no, guaranteed, not guaranteed for any country, but I can't see. I can't see Georgia going through tonight.
Now a lot of people. Go ahead, sorry.
I think the big thing is that we really struggled with our predictions this year.
Yes.
I think more so than any other year. Yeah. So when you go to escunited.com and you look at our predictions as individuals and then as a team, I think it's really important to say that those individuals we believe are non-qualifiers, we think still have a chance to qualify. Yes. It's very much they're on a level playing field, and there are certain countries that we are fairly confident are going to qualify, but everyone else sort of at the lower threshold of qualifiers, we think it's anyone's game, whether or not
how the juries and the televote kind of cancel each other out, possibly somebody going up and some going down. A lot of people in the chat, just to acknowledge it, I see a lot of people saying it will be high with the juries. If it's going to be high somewhere, I think it's going to be more likely that the juries will go for it. So I completely agree with what's said in the chat. It comes down to how high they're going to be, because I think it was you who pointed out there are so many jury favorites this year. Great vocals, great ballads. Somebody is going to miss out. It may or may not be Georgia. So anyway,
Before you jump onto the next country, I just saw a guy called Alexander in the chat, a very interesting question. Monetig, this semi-finals opening act, what did you guys think?
What's
Monetig, you know the spinning song at the start?
No, what song are we talking about?
The
song
rap
that opened.
opens the semi-final.
Oh, the rapper?
What did you think? Because that's a huge hit in Ukraine, so that's quite a big sort of thing for them to get him, really.
I mean, hey, this is Ukraine. You know, they're trying to to portray or display Ukrainian talent. So I think this is a fantastic way to do it. Is it for me? No, not really.
I really
liked
enjoyed
it.
the song.
It was fine for what it is. I didn't care for the song, but I think they have every right to do that. You know, if you have a big star or a big song in your country, by all means, Germany did that. Azerbaijan did that.
Jan Delay.
Yeah, wasn't he popular in Germany?
I don't know.
I thought he was.
We just thought it was really boring.
But then I thought it was too actually.
Yeah.
But in Azerbaijan, they had that Enim. What's his name? In a black.
the Aliyev.
Enim,
He was related to the government.
Yeah, but
somehow.
he's a famous singer as well there, so it's a perfect platform. So I don't have any problems with that. Okay, Australia. Any thoughts on qualification, non-qualification?
11th place.
You could be like they're just going to miss out. They're being.
I'm just going to go straight ahead and say I think Australia's going to be the unlucky one in this bloodbath.
I actually have them as a qualifier right now, but also like 9th place, so not a guaranteed one. And if they get unlucky, because they're being surrounded by other big vocals and big singers, and the staging to me doesn't do a whole lot, but others may like it, it could flop. But I don't know. What about you, Zach?
Sorry, we were distracted. Montezemolo's in the house.
Okay, that's so 2016. Who cares? Okay, so
Or 2015. Well, I almost ran into him going into the bathroom. I was leaving the bathroom when he was walking in.
yeah. But what about Azerbaijan?
Oh.
Yeah, Azerbaijan. I'm sorry, Australia.
Oh, Australia.
I could see where you get mixed up.
Yeah,
It's not-
I have to agree.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to agree. I think Australia is going to be a border qualifier if they do qualify. I mean, maybe part of it comes from my bias from how good the 2015 and 2016 songs were, but I'm really ready to be surprised with the results, and I think what I pick is going to be fairly accurate, but fairly inaccurate at the same time.
Yeah, so it is going to be interesting. I see a lot of people in the chat actually talking about Australia being actually a borderline qualifier. I thought people were going to be like, are you guys crazy? But I guess they're agreeing more with that than I thought, so I guess we're awesome. Albania.
Who's Russell Tovey?
Russell Tovey's an actor.
Sean,
Okay.
do you look like Russell Tovey?
No, he does not look like Russell Tovey.
Who's Russell Tovey?
He's an actor.
I don't know who he is.
Okay, well, you don't look like him.
I've been told I look like Adam Lambert by a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't see that. Okay, you see it, but I don't see it.
Anyway, Albania. Thoughts, qualification. I personally think it's unlikely. As great as her voice is, I don't think it's going to be enough. I just don't see it for Albania.
This is my chance to sort of come back to what you said about Georgia. So there's 3 ballads in a row, and you think it's between one of them to qualify. And I actually think none of them will. I think Georgia, Albania, and Australia are all actually...
All 3 of them will cancel each other out, basically.
Yeah, I think they're going to fail, unfortunately. I think Australia will be the strongest one out of the 3. But I don't know why. I just can't see any of them being strong enough for this final, especially from this semi-final.
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of very big performances and big songs in there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm almost in agreement with you because I have Georgia and Albania both as non-qualifiers and Australia as a borderline qualifier. So I don't think you're completely wrong there. But Albania could qualify. I'm not saying it has no shot, but I'm looking at the scenarios, juries, and televotes and how it's going to balance out. I don't see a whole lot, and this is nothing against the song because I thought Lindita sounds great, but that's just my opinion from what I've seen. What about you, Zach?
I mean, it goes back. I think Georgia, Australia, and Albania are going to be fighting for one spot. But I think, if at all, but I think the one strength about Albania is that they have finally got it right with the revamp.
Yeah.
After a few years of struggling with getting a right revamp, I think this is one where a lot of the fans are very excited about it. And I don't know. I think a lot of the countries sometimes think in the mindset of what's not going to happen this year, but what is our trajectory over the next few years. And my hope is that Albania is getting their stuff together to be able to produce a long line of stronger entries that will progressively do better and better each year.
Yeah, I agree. So as a team overall, by the way, we posted in East United, we predict Albania not to qualify. Let's move on to Belgium. Now, Belgium got a lot of slack when it comes to vocals and staging. Do you think it's going to be the end for Belgium? They're going to be the surprising non-qualifier, or you think people are overreacting and it's just going to be fine? Who wants to go first?
Belgium will qualify.
You think like it's going to qualify easily, or
about
just
8th or 9th or something like that.
So
'Cause
not.
Unfortunately, it's such a disappointing performance. I know it is, but the song is too strong a song to be left out. I think this year it is a really good song, and it is. I know it. I know it might be one of those songs where the Eurovision fans latch onto it and they love it, and the general public just don't get it. That's why I'm thinking it might be 8th or 9th. But I think it will still be. I think the jury will still like the composition enough. I think she doesn't
that's what I'm
actually
surprising.
sound.
I thought they're going to dislike.
She doesn't actually sound horrendous.
Well, she
She
doesn't
sound really bad, but she could perform it better. She really could.
Yeah.
But I still think that the performance is disappointing. Let's not get past that fact.
Yeah.
But it's gone from being one of the contenders to win to still being a
It's going to be
finalist,
trouble,
which
yes. It reminds me a bit of Croatia. Remember, Croatia was so popular last year and they're all going to fly through. And then it became like, oh my God, this is not sounding and looking good. They're still qualified, but then, but also
and then
barely.
kind of flopped in the final.
Yeah,
but
so
I think that's probably better than not even making it there at all.
Yeah.
It's better to
Oh
have
no,
something
for
to
sure.
root
At least
on,
there's something. I agree with what you're saying. I personally, actually, though, I get Kate Ryan vibe here from 2006, right? This could be the possible Kate Ryan of this year. She wasn't great in the jury show, at least I didn't think she was. At least when it comes to her higher part of the song, when she sings high, it's painful, actually, almost. And I don't think the jury's appreciated that, but that's just me. Zach?
Yeah, I think the Belgium song is really good. It's a really good studio version, but she does struggle, and she has struggled across the week in the live rehearsals. And I think one thing we have to remember is that Blanche is 17 years old, and she's still very new to the scene, although she has been on a reality TV show. And Sean and I were actually having this discussion earlier about, like, do the people who go through a national selection actually have an advantage because they've been through this pressure versus someone who is internally selected and may not have as much exposure moving in, and they get here and it's kind of like, oh crap, this is happening, and they scare themselves. Belgium for me, I think, is a borderline qualifier. I'm just not sure yet. I mean, it could be the Israel 2014 of this year, some song that was very highly rated by the fans, but just crashes and burns in the semis.
Yeah. I have a point to raise from that, as you can tell from the fact that my fingers are up, and I was really trying hard not to butt in. But you say that Blanche is 17, and that is like a major factor. Isaiah and Christian are both of the not similar age,
Christian's
and
younger.
both of them are so much more confident.
They
have a stage
on the
presence.
stage presence. Yeah.
Yes.
So I can see why it can be a factor, but I would feel like Belgium, out of all countries, considering the age of the people they've been sending recently, they should be able to handle younger artists and manage their expectations.
Yeah, age is not always an excuse. Like, they're only 16, 17. If you're going there are a lot of people who are 16 and have a lot of stage presence.
This is the third year in a row Belgium sent a teenager, basically, or someone young. I think Laura was 19 last year. Loic was 18, as far as I remember. So they're all of similar ages.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry?
Montenegro. What about Montenegro, Slavko? Any chances from Mr. Slavko? I know, Sean, you love the song. I'm a fan as well. We know you love the stage, you love everything about it, but the point is, do you think you can make it?
I'll try not to swear because obviously we don't want that, but I love it. I really do. I think it's fantastic. I think, especially coming from a country such as Montenegro, I think it is actually such an important performance for their country as well. Hopefully it gets received well at home. The problem is, although it's catchy and although it's a big performance and everyone's looking forward to it, everyone loves it, it's just not the kind of thing that will go through. And I just, in this semi-final where there's a lot of good performances, I think he'll be left out, unfortunately. I would love it.
I know you do.
To get to the final because
we know that by now.
Imagine 200 million people being able to see that.
Oh gosh, Zach.
That's the end of that point very quickly, isn't it?
I'm on the complete opposite spectrum. I think Slavko's a really nice guy. I just think it's a little too much. And I think it's an emphasis on performance more than actual vocals. It's just the song's he's not singing the song well. He's relying on his backup singers who aren't even available. And the stage feels very empty.
Yes.
And there's only so much galloping around and twirling your hair back and forth is really going to do. So The one thing I will say is that Montenegro is doing a very exceptional job with the selection of their entries. They're always picking something novel, something unique, something different. I feel like they went through 2 Balkan ballads to sort of feel confident and feel safe about saying, all right, we can qualify to the finals. Now that we've got that confidence, let's try doing something different.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense, Montenegro's become the second Moldova.
Yeah.
Someone who's always bringing something interesting and something that can make you smile. I heard you guys talking about the first rehearsal, Montenegro, and just the press center was just in pure joy about it.
Yeah.
And, we may be wrong. We may be bitter by the fact that we've seen this over and over and over, but maybe the casual viewer who's watching this for the first time is going to respond the same way the press center did the first day, and that'll help.
Well, yes. So I'm kind of in between both of them because I actually like the song as well, right? That's what's my top 10.
Top 10
Yes, but unlike you, I was disappointed with the staging, and I think number one, he doesn't sound good vocally, and I give Zach that the backup vocalists are really covering up. They have really great backup vocalists, so when you hear them, they're really, really good. But the fact that he's alone on stage is not necessarily a problem. But it just feels, especially such a big song, like loud song with crazy hair and that dress and then the funny outfits. If you go crazy, you have to go big, right? And he didn't do that. He's just himself twirling his hair. At some point it's fun, but at some point it gets boring, and I think that's what the issue is with the performance, and it lost me a little. So based on everything I've seen, even though I love the song, I know it's not going to qualify, or I'm pretty sure. And I just don't see the juries, even if the televoters put it really high, that this would go anywhere with the juries.
He'll be last with the juries.
I'm pretty sure.
I get your point as well, because it feels like it's a good performance. I think he has got enough star quality to carry it enough, and it not be too empty or embarrassing or anything like that. But a few pyros, maybe someone else on stage with him, just doing something might lift it a little bit.
Yeah, I just think if you never heard the song, I don't think that's the kind of performance that would win you over. No. It's not necessarily a performance that would turn you away if you like the song already. But that's my thinking. I like funny how people saying that, but he already qualified yesterday during the fake voting. So that's true. He did qualify yesterday in the fake voting. So we got to move on. We're talking too long about each country. I just want to go for them real fast. So let's move on. Finland.
Semi-final winner.
So we have.
Right in there.
I put them in the top 2 as well, so I wouldn't mind seeing the winning. It's the kind of song to me, I mean, obviously a jury could be a possible jury favorite, right?
Yeah.
And the song is just so beautiful, and it looks great, and I do think it could go really high with the televoters as well, and that's really important. There are certain ballads that really will strike a nerve with people, and I think this could be the one, because especially after Slavko's crazy performance.
Yeah, it's really understated.
It's really like, it's really, really a perfect match for them. So I think the two of us think, and I think Dak will agree, it's going to be really high.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the national selection show, it was all kind of amateur hour until Norma John stepped out on stage and sang.
Yeah.
I think the other saving grace for Finland is that it's between 2 crazy, Montenegro and Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
And I don't say that in a negative way, and I think it's important for all of us to say that, I mean, we have so much respect for these artists. I mean, because they're putting their heart and souls to come out on stage, and they're attacked by Twitter trolls or anyone else, and they deal with a lot. And again, it's part of their job. That's what they're paid to do. That's what they're here to do. They have to be grown-ups about it. But at the same time, I have a lot of respect for these artists, because when it comes down to it, they are very nice people, friendly, engaging. It's just been a surreal experience, to be as a member of press here and to see the artists mingling and interacting with us. And it's very different from being from the U.S., where we think of artists as being divas or, don't touch me. If you want a picture, this will cost you $20.
Okay, yeah. So we all agree. I mean, in the our team, we ranked Finland in 5th place overall, finishing in the readers agreed 5th place. So it seems like a pretty good outcome for Finland in the semis, according to us and you readers. I think actually personally it's going to be higher, but we shall see.
I think it's going to win the semi-final.
It's a potential winner.
Performances, it draws you in for 3 minutes. You're captivated. She's fantastic, and the whole mood behind the thing. It really
We have to,
It's just a very
yeah.
captivating 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think there's nothing else in this semi-final from what
Okay.
we've seen that could possibly have
Alright.
that. Maybe Portugal.
I got to move on because we don't have much time left.
Yeah.
Azerbaijan is next. So, any thoughts on Azerbaijan as far as qualification? They've always qualified. They have this very elaborate staging with the ladder and the horsemen and the chalkboard and all of that stuff. Sean,
Well, I was just going to say Azerbaijan's safe.
safe, very
I mean,
safe, right?
There's not a massive amount I can really add to it because it is a good. It's an artsy performance. It's a good
Yeah,
performance.
it's arts enough for it to stand out.
It's not going to set the world alight, and it's not going to win Eurovision. But Azerbaijan is safe, and Azerbaijan generally are always safe.
Yeah.
I know they've had a few scares.
Yeah, they lucked
I
out
think
a
they
few
finished
times.
10th one year in the semi.
Yes, because of only the jury saved them in 2014.
Yeah, but I can't see Azerbaijan failing with this song.
And the people agree with that, by the way, with Finland for the most part there. And we're paying attention to the chat as much as possible. Zach, your thoughts on Azerbaijan?
Yeah, Azerbaijan was my top pick coming into Eurovision 2017. It's still a song that I think is very strong. It's still one of my top 2 songs. I'll tell you what my top song is later. But yeah, I mean, it's just a very engaging, artsy, unique, dramatic performance, and I love it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'll qualify. It's okay. I like the song. It's everything to me. It seems like, it's a solid qualifier. There's nothing I can say that wouldn't. No, there's no way it's not going to qualify. Now, how it's going to do in the finals, we'll talk about that later. But as for tonight, they're safe, and everyone agrees. Our readers agreed in the poll. Our overall predictions say that as well. Let's move on to a big one that we all talk about. Big hype. Portugal. Salvador now actually just arrived yesterday. He rehearsed the day before already. I live in the past. So he had 2 run-throughs yesterday, which include the jury show, and then this afternoon. He's going to qualify. Is that an overall consensus here? Anyone thinking there's a chance he won't qualify?
There's always a chance artists won't qualify. We've seen overhyped artists who crash and burn in the semis. I think because of the track record of Portugal, it is something I'm concerned about. But I think there's something very magical on stage when he performs. Now his 3rd rehearsal this afternoon, he was going a little animated. He was having a lot of fun with it.
He was having. I'm not sure if they're going to tell him because he was like kind of humming along when the instrumental part is happening, and he's just like ha 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 ha, which is fine.
He's having a bit of fun.
He has a little bit more fun. I'm not sure if he just wanted to do it or if they.
We don't know if after that the delegation said, "Hold up."
Yeah, hold your horses.
Yeah. Let's not let this crap happen.
Yeah.
You need to qualify.
One thing was really cool. You weren't here yesterday for the jury show, but I talked to Sean, whispered into his ear. This was the first time when the entire press center was dead. Silence. It's like you could hear a needle drop. It was so. I've never seen that before. So people were mesmerized by it.
Portugal is the dictionary definition of stunning.
Yes.
It is a stunning performance.
It is.
The only reason why I think Finland and potentially Sweden will finish above it in this semi-final is that I just don't think a lot of people get it. Unfortunately, but when people get it, my God, they will get it.
If the people get it, it'll go big. But it really comes out if it clicks. I think it'll qualify regardless because the juries will just love it.
Yeah.
But it needs a little bit more of a televote. But if it finishes like 13th or 14th, I think they're safe.
Someone made a comment, well, he doesn't care about anything but performing. And I'm like, I agree 100%.
And then be true to yourself. I completely agree.
Yeah. It's just there's a point where you have to play the game to where you have to engage with the act. And I don't want to, the term they always throw out is self-indulgent, but I don't think Salvador is self-indulgent.
No, he's just who he is. He's not trying to pretend to be somebody.
I think he creates his own little world, but he's quite successful in dragging the viewer into the world with him. Some people don't do that. I think he's got star quality enough to do it.
I think. But we believe in the poll, you guys believe it's going to qualify. It has a lot of love and support here. It would be nice to see Portugal in the finals. I know not everyone cares about that song. It's a little bit more polarizing. Either you get it or you don't. Yeah. But I think it would just add something to the finals regardless of what you think about it. It's just a very different song.
I think everyone in the chat has realised what song we're about to talk about. So let's give it to the people.
Oh, how do you pronounce the country?
Grecia?
Greece? Greece, of course. Demi, This Is Love. Now, one thing we talked about, she did it in the jury show, she did this afternoon, she changed. She's no longer hitting that high note, she's letting the backup vocals do that, and she just kind of harmonizes almost, it feels like it. I know. So, what do you think about Demi's chances?
Well, she's going to go through, but unfortunately for me, I just think the performance it's good. It'll get people up on the field, get them dancing, they'll enjoy it. The televoters I have no problems with. I just think the juries are going to see the whole package and think they're trying to embellish it and trying to hide the fact that, honestly, the high notes and the way that the backing vocalists mix with her, it's not that great.
It's not. They did a good job covering up that fact. That
but I just think it's not strong enough with the juries that they're going to. Although they did have 2 run-throughs, which may potentially. I know it's not meant to, but it might help.
Yeah.
But I think Greece will sail through. I have no doubts that Greece will be sailing through to the final. But I just think that. I just don't
that's
think
fair.
that's
fair.
strong.
Don't apologize for it. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I guess I think it's a good performance. It was engaging. I liked it. I guess just I wonder if the song, like if she had a better song, she could be better. Mm-hmm. Like it's just I hear so much about how incredible a performer is, and I've seen her perform in previous videos, and I just feel like the song wasn't good enough for her. But I think still, nonetheless, it's a good performance. She's going to qualify. Mm-hmm. I think the Greek fans should be very proud of it, especially with what happened last year, where I think there was a lot of disappointment.
Yes, they need a little bit of a push, like excitement. I actually happen to like the song. It's not like my top song, but I enjoy it. It reminds me a little bit of Cascada, the style with that, that instrumental part. It's not a copy. I'm just saying it has that kind of vibe to it, so I'm digging it. I love the staging, what they've done with it. It looks great. It's the vocals that worry me a little, and it could be the one thing again, like if it doesn't click with people. I don't know if it clicked with the juries and it doesn't click with the televoters, then we have problems. So I think Greece needs to have at least like a 6th place with the televoters to really still make it safe.
To make it safe.
Yes, to make it safe. So there is a chance that she could not qualify, but I also predict Nemi and Greece to move on to Saturday's grand finale. But it's going to be interesting because it's so difficult to predict. Let's move on to Poland, Kasia Mosh. Zach, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I think I got a lot of crap from the team when I initially put her as my second top pick as far as predictions, and I think she has climbed down in my rankings on the SC United web page, but it's not because she has decreased her value as a singer. I think it's just more there are other acts that perhaps have rise more to the occasion in the more recent rehearsals, but she's a very strong performer. I think there's a lot of support for her. On a personal note, I love the fact that she's been using this past week of rehearsals to also advocate for causes she's very passionate about, one that I'm also very passionate about personally.
Animal rights.
So I think it's something really nice to see that she's taken full advantage of her time here at Eurovision to talk about issues related to more than just music. But as far as the performance goes, I love the fact that she's going above and beyond what the studio version is and singing it very differently.
Yeah, she does a little bit different, I kind of agree with what you're saying, actually, interestingly enough. And I'm only talking about prediction, not my personal taste. It's been climbing up in my ranking. I think I put it in the end in 6th place, actually, that high, as far as like in the ranking of qualification, because I feel like it's in a good spot as far as like songs before her, the Greek song, and what's coming after her, Moldova. Yeah. It feels like a good kind of strong dark song. They fixed the staging that we had issues with. It was too bright before. Now it's appropriate, we feel. And I do think it has I have it as a qualifier, our team overall. Once we add it all up, we have it in 11th place. So just missing out.
It's as a team, we had it in, I think it was 9th place. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The televoters put it 10th place, but because there was a 3-way tie with Moldova, Belgium, and Poland, we went with the televoter readers, and
nobody called in.
The readers ended up putting preference for the other 2 countries, hence Poland dropped to 11th. So it's a very weird case of how we decided to do the polling. But at the same time, we don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen at this point. Yeah. I mean, any of the non-qualifiers we selected on the webpage could very well prove us wrong and become a qualifier.
That is true. Any final thoughts from you about Poland?
Poland in general, I think it's going to go through. It's not personally my kind of song, so I don't really get the hype over it. Because I think there is a little bit of a hype.
There's a hype?
People.
I don't know, it's been always
well, in the lead up to the contest, maybe not now, but in the lead up to the contest, certainly, it seems to be one of the sort of fan favourites, forum favourites, however you want to say it. She's got one of the best vocals in the contest, there's no doubt about The performance is fine. It does its job. I think
Yeah.
Poland will go through, and I wouldn't say comfortably, but I think Poland will be safe enough that they
Safe
don't have
enough.
to worry too much. But
Okay.
you know,
All right.
is what it is.
Yeah, we gotta speed this up, guys, because I know we're already at song 11, so we're gonna keep our comments a little shorter. Moldova, a Sunstroke project. I personally have them as a borderline qualifier. Moldova has the skill where they get enough support from the televoters, where they're using like not silly, but fun, easygoing songs that will appeal to the televoters, and then the juries don't dislike it enough to actually drag it down enough to actually kick them out. So I think they're gonna make it through. It's a fun song. It has this, one of the more fun songs in the semi actually. I think, and for that reason, I think it'll get enough support to slide through. That would be my guess. I think as overall the team agrees that Moldova will qualify. Zach, what did you think about it?
It's a borderline qualifier, but I may have to take this step back. I mean, during the last 3 shows, I've noticed the most amount of screaming and cheering from the audience coming during the Moldova performance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their performance is really fun, really cute, good use of the backup singers. So I think there's a lot of potential for Moldova to be back in the finals for the first time since Aliona in 2013.
It's been that long. That's crazy.
Yeah.
John?
I think it's fun. I think it's catchy. It's certainly a hit in Euro Club, which I know it would be. The people in the audience, they love it. It's fun, but I don't know why. I just have a feeling that it's going to be 12 or 13.
It's going to
or
just
something.
miss out one of those.
I think
It could.
I
It
think the
absolutely
juries just aren't going to get it enough to put it through. I hope I'm wrong because it's a fun song. It'd be good to have it in the final. I think people would love it.
Yeah.
But it's just I can just see it one of those songs that it just doesn't quite.
Yeah,
make
we'll
the
see.
cut, unfortunately.
Just our team put it in 11th place, and the prediction just missing out. The readers put it in 8th place. Overall 9th. So you can see it's very, very. It
Hit
could
and
go
miss,
either way.
basically.
Could
Yeah,
go
yeah.
either way. We shall see how it's going to connect with the people watching tonight. Okay, after Moldova, we have Iceland. Svala paper.
And we got our
jumping
All
around.
right.
yeah,
So,
jumping.
Sean, why don't you go ahead and
I'll let FA take my place actually. Because
Now we have
personally, unfortunately, and I'm sorry to say this,
That's good.
I'm just not a massive fan of the song.
no, neither am
I
I.
don't really understand it, but I can see that it has its fans.
All right. So let's focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's not let's
Let's
focus
be
here.
objective.
Let's be-
She has a really small possibility to go to finals according to our website's predictions, according to our ESC United readers, and to us. But I love her.
Is she like 12th on there or something? Did I see?
On ours,
she's
overall, she's 13 with
13.
with us, 13 with the readers, and 13 with overall. So I think that's what we're thinking. But just because we all put her in 13th doesn't mean she's not going to qualify. Because she's the kind of song that could make it through. It just feels like it's just so hard to really predict that one. Why are you laughing?
No, I'm just. So this is FA's first year at Eurovision, and it's just funny because we always talk about how you'll never forget your first year because you meet these artists and it's just
It's
so.
all-
Oh,
Yeah.
Slata was mine, Ukraine 2013. I was all over her.
Yeah, and you fall in love with them and you realize they're real people and they're so nice. So, I mean, I think for us, it's really hard choosing people who won't qualify because you get so attached to all 18 acts and
Yeah, exactly.
you wish you could see them all go through and we could
Yes.
just have one Uber final with all 42 songs, but that would require a lot of alcohol for some people.
Like, see, I know that there's a pretty much, apart from maybe 2 acts on there, everyone I've met seems to be really lovely.
Yeah.
So I would feel really bad for like at least 6 of those if they didn't
Yeah.
go through.
What about Czech Republic? I know it's far down in the rankings on our website. We put it overall in 18th. The readers put it in 16th, which is considered overall a 16th place as well. Personally, I love the song. Actually, I think it's very quiet and it feels simple, but it's very low key. So it may not be like something that the televoters will go crazy over. So it's probably going to flop with the televoters. I could see a healthy amount of support from the juries because they may not fall as easily for big performances, but I don't think it'll be enough to carry it into the top 10. That's just too far. It's just not going to be an
I
option.
think it's sweet. It's lovely. I really
Yeah.
do. I do actually genuinely really like the song. I think I'm glad that there's an entry like this year.
Yeah,
But I just can't see enough support from either side.
yeah.
The
Well, I could-
televoters
yeah.
will forget it. The juries may appreciate the jazzy qualities of it, but I don't
Yes.
think they'll appreciate it enough. And
No, I don't think so
I can
either.
see this was my last placer. because I could just see
I did have
one
it
way
too.
or another. Neither side is really going to look into it. I
It
think.
could be totally forgotten. There's always that one
Yeah.
song that gets stuck in the middle and then just gets completely forgotten. Zach.
No, I think you guys have said it well. It's a great, fantastic song. It's a nice music video. She's a fantastic performer, but I just don't think it'll be remembered, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's really a shame because I think the Czech Republic got so much confidence with their qualification to the final.
Yeah.
And it just would have been nice to have them continue riding that wave of success. Now, we may be wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
we may totally get it wrong, and it's happened before.
Yeah, we shall see. What about Cyprus, Havik's Gravity? What did you think? Like, would you think it has a shot?
I think he's a really nice guy. I think that's the kiss of death when I start something off.
That's
with
the
like,
I know,
start
it's a
saying
nice
he's not
guy.
going to qualify.
I just don't think he's going to qualify. I just think, again, it's a song that's not going to stand out. I don't, I'm thinking back to the rehearsals, and I just don't remember much about what happens in the song.
Yeah.
In the performance.
The staging is actually not as simple staging because they have all these lines that he walks on because of gravity, and then they do a really elaborate staging. But I don't know if it grabs you per se, as you said, because it is, even though it's elaborate almost, it seems still forgettable. So, and that is really weird. His vocals he was struggling yesterday a little. He was much better in the jury show, which helps. But I don't think it's going to click with the people. So, and I like this song. It was actually in my personal top 10. Overall, our team has it in 12th place prediction. The readers have it 11th. And then overall, it's in 12th.
Yeah.
So
I think I've got it as my 10th place because I just have a feeling he's a likable guy. It really shows across on the screen.
Mhm.
He's been very spotty in
Yes.
terms of some performances
Inconsistent
have been
a
brilliant.
little,
Some
yeah.
of them have been terrible. Not terrible, but some of them have been.
Yeah.
We've kind
shaky.
of gone, oh, that sounded bad, and things like
Yes.
that. Visually, the performance is actually quite striking. I know a lot of people look at the background and go, oh, this is a copy of Belgium from 2015.
Yeah.
It is basically the same background, but there's a lot more to it visually. The lines on the floor, the
It's
balancing.
different, yeah. It's not a copy. It's not a
And,
copy.
I think it's just got enough to sneak through.
I hope so. I love the song, and
Yeah.
I love Bobby. He's like so funny. When I interviewed him, so much energy. He was just like, I love him. So just for that, I wanted to qualify. Anyway, we have 3 more to go through. Armenia, Artsvik, Fly With Me. Anybody? I think we all agree this one's a safe qualifier.
Yeah,
This
probably
is
about
good.
5th place in the
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
semi,
and
I think.
it's really grown on me. I know, there's been some discussion about how is she growing in the odds, but when I watched this final performance, I mean, there's some really nice stuff going on with the use of the same camera work that was used by Veta last year with Love Wave, plus just the interactions that are going on between Artsvik and her 2
Yes.
backup dancers. I know there's a lot of concerns about the stage feeling empty, but remember, what you see in the rehearsals during the live streams
Yeah.
is very different from what you're going to see on TV.
It looks way better. They
Yeah.
use it. That's very interesting camera work that they're using, and
Yeah.
it's fairly dark, like purpley. But I'm not a fan of the song per se. It's not my kind of song. But after watching now the final product these past couple of days, it looks pretty good, and I don't think anyone has to worry about anything when it comes to Armenia. They're gonna fly through. I think. Let me see how
I like what you did there.
Oh,
You're gonna
fly
through.
Fly through.
Oh,
Zing.
brilliant.
We put it overall in 4th place in our predictions. The readers in 3rd, which then put them in 3rd overall. We'll
Oh,
see.
I don't know. My concern is that I feel like it's a potential winner. I mean, I feel like it could stand out. My concern is if she draws first half, I feel like this is going to be a song they choose to start the show.
Yeah.
In the final.
That could be an
Good
opener
point.
for sure.
Good point.
Okay, Slovenia, Omar Naber, On My Way. Another song that didn't receive too much hype prior to the contest. So, do you guys think he has a pretty good running number? Does he have any chance of making it through? Starting with Sean, he's been shaking his head behind me.
It's my number 42.
Well, that's irrelevant.
It's very pretty on the stage, I will admit. It's a very nice staging, and he does have a very good stage presence, and he has a very good song. But you can only polish a turd so far, unfortunately. And if it's this kind of turd, then I can't see it. I could just see. Yeah, we're talking about Slovenia. So
What about you, Zach?
Yeah,
Sean's pissing off people in
yeah.
the
I've just
press
seen John
center.
over there, who's Slovenian. I think he's shouting me. I don't know if he knows.
Um,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Sean.
I think the song has really grown on me over the past week, in which it was a song I wrote off, but the more I see it, the more I'm like, well, maybe it could qualify. Matt was very much on the Slovenia boat early on, so we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I would never call a song a turd, obviously, but
Yeah,
what
Sean.
Maybe I just,
Just to be clear, we
maybe I'm
shouldn't
just
call
not to the
that.
point
It's a little bit
sometimes.
wrong.
And you
But-
wonder why people don't vote for the UK.
I-
No, but like we look at performances like not Armenia maybe, but there's certain performances like Armenia in the UK, for example, this year, and the Netherlands are sort of the three big standouts of where a rehearsal and a performance has really lifted a mediocre song.
Yeah,
In
that's
those
true.
three cases in particular,
Yeah.
they've tried to do that with Slovenia, and
Those
they've done a
songs
good
aren't
job, but it's
mediocre.
just not good enough.
I don't know. I mean,
Basically,
I like the
there's only
song,
so
obviously.
much.
It's in my personal top 10, but I need to look past that, right? Because I have it as a non-qualifier myself. But I look at the fact that we live in the Eurovision bubble and we don't like it, but this has a very Disney feel to it, and people often are drawn to it. And it did fairly well in the Slovenian televote. It will probably do better with the juries than most people expect here. The staging looks fantastic. I love the staging. I still don't have it as a qualifier, but I am not even counting it out. I put it in 11th or 12th place, something like that. So it could be a surprise qualifier, especially with the running order. The second half doesn't have a whole lot of ballads, so that alone could be a huge benefit for them. But overall, our team put it in second to last, 17. The readers agreed 17th place, which then, surprise, puts them in 17th place overall. So officially, ESC United is saying Slovenia is not going to qualify.
They won't be last.
Yeah, no, they
Definitely
won't be
last,
last.
but
Yeah. And last but not least, it's Latvia. It's interesting enough because that's like one of your favorites and one of my least
Yeah.
favorites.
we've had this problem with a lot of songs.
I know,
this year,
it's really
yeah.
weird. But one thing I acknowledge, I think, because I hated the staging in the national final, the dark and like the silly like neon lights. Even though the stuff the neon lights say fix it up in the national, not the national, right now, and it looks actually way, way better. Even though I still don't like the song, I do know that, I mean, it's obvious they're going to be the last one in the running order, and it's a different song from what's in there that stands out. If it clicks enough with the televoters, I don't see how it cannot qualify at this point, even though it's not, I put it like a 9th or 10th place, but my prediction is it's going to make it through. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I think Latvia has a really good placement, and I think it's really going to help them. It's a big banger of a closer. I think Latvia has figured out what they need to do, and it's very nouveau pop dance-ish type of music. But it really doesn't fit into one mold, and it really helps them stand out. And just with the whole characteristics of the act, that really helps them stand out. So it's not only a song that stands out, it's also a presentation, and it's also their image that helps them stand out.
Yes.
So I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to, in the end, fall around the same level as Youth did, and not exceed the standing that Animata did in
Midfield,
2015.
Sean?
Well, like I've said, I think it's my second favourite now this year, but it is very visually striking. It's a big song to close the semi-final, and in the UK we'd call it like a pimp slot, because the last song in any kind of performance is the one that people are going to remember the most of, especially if it's a big song like this. It's fun, it'll get people moving, it's very visually striking, and there's a lot of big, bright, bold colours. It's vibrant, it's different. It's the kind of thing we need more of in Eurovision, because we don't really get bands like this in Eurovision very often. So when we get them and they're good like this, then I just hope that people, I think the televoters will love it. I think it will go through quite high on the televote.
But you may, the
I'm
juries
just worried about the juries, yeah. But I think once it all balances out, I still can see Latvia in the final quite comfortably.
Right, comfortably. Okay. So let me just go through the list real quick here. We have, I said our team here in Kyiv. We predicted, individually, and then we have also the readers who did that the last few days, and then we combined the results. So according to those two results, these are the 10 countries that we predict the ESC United website, I guess, for lack of a better term. The 10 that will qualify are, I'm going to read them from 1 to 10. Number 1, Sweden. Number 2, Azerbaijan. Number 3, Armenia. Number 4, Portugal. Number 5, Finland. Number 6, Australia. Number 7, Greece. Number 8, Latvia. Number 9, Moldova. Number 10, Belgium. So these are, in that order, is what we predict is going to happen tonight, with Poland just missing out in 11th place. Cyprus, Iceland, Albania, Georgia, Czech Republic, Slovenia, and then Montenegro finishing last, actually, which I don't think is going to happen.
Which isn't
Actually,
gonna happen.
no, I don't think so either. But it's just the way when you add the rankings, it just got
So,
unlit.
what do you think is going to be the potential big shocker tonight?
Belgium.
Belgium could. Belgium could be
qualifying
shocked.
or not qualifying?
Not qualifying, and I could see there is this chance that Australia will qualify.
I think there's a very big chance Australia.
That's
won't
my
qualify.
shocker.
Yeah.
My prediction is if there's a shocker, it's Australia not qualifying.
Could you see a shocker qualify? Like I had no idea that was going to happen.
What, qualifying?
Yeah, like I didn't think you thought they were sure not going to qualify.
Iceland or Georgia?
Iceland or Georgia?
Montenegro too.
No.
Montenegro's not going to. Yeah, it would be shocker, but
I'd be so happy, but I can't see them having a cat in hell's chance.
Okay, the Eurovision live stream is on Eurovision.tv. We're just doing a pre-show here just to kind of give you our ideas and just to get the vibe. We're going to show you again the press center in just a second. We're going to go offline shortly after we've shown you this. We will be back after the semi-final show. We're going to have another live stream because then all the semi-finalists will come in here. We give you an idea of what's going on in the the press center here, because there's going to be a lot of excitement, sadness. There are so many groups. The Czech Republic team is here. The Polish team's over there. Who else did you see? I saw Portugal.
Oh, there's loads of Portuguese fans.
Fans. So there's a lot going on here right now. Right now it's fairly it's like the calm before the storm a little bit in here because everyone's getting ready for the live show. We only got 14 minutes to go before
we go, what are your thoughts of Kyiv?
the Kyiv, the hosting or the city?
Just the city in general.
For today was the first time we were able to see a little bit of the city. But the hosting itself, it's good. There are some hiccups, but mostly it had to do with Euroclub and
but just the city in general.
the city in general. I love that city. First of all, it's really cheap. So for people like us, we're we can take an Uber for $2 to basically almost anywhere.
Yeah, halfway across the city.
Halfway across the
It's
city.
a city of 4.5 million people,
Yeah.
so that's not an easy task.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Alcohol is cheap. Food is cheap if you go to the right places.
Yeah.
And
You heard that song?
Alcohol is free.
yeah. So that alone I love. They have some really cool buildings that we saw up the vernacular that you can pick up there. So I still need to see more. I want to go to Maiden Square, which I haven't had a chance to do so. But the city it's as far east I've ever been in my life, living in LA right now. You can't get much further.
Yep.
So I'm fascinated by it. To me, the biggest struggle is the language barrier.
Yeah.
But other than that, I love it.
I think people have been very kind, polite. We've had some Uber drivers who couldn't speak English but knew how to say welcome to
Yes.
Ukraine. I saw someone comment, I'm going to interject here, results of the semifinal shows will be released after they announce the winner of Eurovision 2017.
Yes.
They always keep that a secret so it doesn't affect the voting.
Yeah.
But usually, we've noticed during the press conference immediately after, you'll start seeing the results of the semi-shows come out to the public.
What we'll do actually, and I don't want to spoil it, but we will pay attention to the YouTube views because that previously has been a pretty good indicator of what has been
And
really
the betting
popular.
odds as well. If you look at Netherlands
Betting
in
odds,
2014,
yeah.
that was quite a good indicator that they'd sort of absolutely
Betting
destroyed
odds and YouTube views actually.
Yeah.
So we'll put a report together on that as well.
So,
What about you, Kyiv?
Kiev, in the media, Kiev and Ukraine in general has had a kind of tough ride in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So Kiev is surprisingly, I've really enjoyed it here. The people are lovely. People are surprisingly tolerant as well, more so than I thought it would be. The city itself is beautiful. There's some amazing parts. The river especially.
Okay.
I love everything around
Perfect.
that.
So what I want to do
Surprise.
for the next quick seconds is just kind of show everyone the
Walk
press
around.
center here. So you're not going to be able to see me, but I'm just going to keep narrating. So these are our workstations. This is a screen. Oh no, that's not a screen. This is just some areas in which we are doing work, and this is the many press center people. There's FA. But you can see there's just a lot of people here who are ready for the show to get started. So yeah, there's a lot of people here who are getting situated, ready to watch the show. You see a lot of individuals who are wearing their flags of origins, wearing costumes. So really it's a big party for many of the media here. A lot of them are big fans. That's how they get involved as media. But yeah, it's very big. So we have about 10 more minutes to go before.
But we're
the
going to
show
leave a
starts.
few minutes
Yeah.
early because you guys have to get ready as well. We just wanted to give you just a little bit like fun, like something to look forward to. We're really excited because now we try to be professional as much as possible. But now, once we turn off this silly live stream, we're going to be fans, right? We're not going to be any kind of vlogger. I told you, not any alcohol on the camera. It's Fanta.
You can fire me.
You're fired. Oh, should be fired. So we're going to be fans now and root for our favorites. We don't want to be too crazy about it on here right now, but we'll be back later because we're going to have the post show. And then you can see all the meltdowns here or excitement. Hopefully most people will be excited, but there is no way because there are 18 different countries with 18 different delegations and 18 different groups of fans. So at least 8 of them will be disappointed. So we'll see how that's going to go. I know this is nerve-wracking. I can't believe it is happening. Be back, and then tomorrow we'll have the semifinal 2 starting the dress rehearsals, and tomorrow evening, it's the jury show for semifinal 2. So you come back to ESC United on YouTube, like us here, subscribe to us, and we'll be live streaming from the press center, and you can listen in to the jury show. How cool is that, huh? So have fun, everyone. Get your drinks, and we'll see you afterwards. Okay? Hope you'll tune in. Until then, see ya.